For thousands of years, every ancient civilization told the same impossible story. A time when the entire world was swallowed by water. A flood that wiped away empires, erased history, and forced humanity to begin again. But what if this wasn't just myth or religion? What if a real cataclysm struck Earth, powerful enough to reset civilization itself? Scientists have found the evidence, and it might prove that we are not the first advanced society to walk this planet. This is the Great Flood, the cataclysm that reset civilization. From the temples of Egypt to the jungles of South America, from the Himalayas to the Arctic Circle, every ancient civilization spoke of a great deluge. The Sumerians told of Ziusudra, the chosen one who survived the waters sent by the gods. The Hebrews called him Noah. The Hindus knew him as Manu. Even the Aztecs, Greeks, and Chinese preserved the same warning, that humanity had angered the heavens and the world was washed clean. Different names, same event. How could people who never met describe the same global disaster? Unless they were remembering something real. Roughly 12,800 years ago, something extraordinary happened. Geological layers around the world show a sudden boundary: black sediment, fused glass, and microscopic diamonds. It's called the Younger Dryas Boundary, evidence of a colossal impact, possibly from a comet that struck the ice sheets of North America. In moments, fires raged, glaciers melted, oceans surged, and the planet's climate flipped overnight. Sea levels rose more than 400 feet, drowning coastlines and the civilizations that lived upon them. The flood wasn't a myth, it was a memory, passed down by survivors. If a global flood destroyed ancient cultures, who were they? Archaeological clues point to a forgotten world. Ruins beneath the sea near India's Gulf of Kambat, sunken pyramids off Japan's Yonaguni coast, megalithic cities buried beneath the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. These sites date back to a time when, according to modern history, humans were still hunters and gatherers. Yet they built cities aligned with stars and stone blocks heavier than modern cranes can lift. Who taught them? And what knowledge was lost beneath the waves? In ancient Sumerian texts, survivors of the flood wrote of gods descending from the sky, beings who helped humanity rebuild. Egyptian priests told Solon of a destroyed empire beyond the ocean, the fabled Atlantis. The Mayans recorded in their codices that a great sea of fire and water reset the world. If these were just stories, why do they align so precisely in time and theme? Perhaps these were not myths, but eyewitness accounts of a civilization reborn after destruction. Geologists have mapped vast floodplains, from the scablands of Washington to the plains of Siberia. In Alaska and northern Europe, mammoths were found frozen mid-bite, their bodies flash frozen in seconds. Satellite imaging shows ancient riverbeds carved deep beneath the Sahara, a region that once bloomed with life. And the Sphinx, weathered not by sand, but by rain. Evidence of a time when Egypt saw centuries of torrential downpour. Water shaped the earth we know today and erased the one that came before. What if the survivors of the Great Flood left clues for us? Göbekli Tepe, built over 11,000 years ago, may have been a memorial. Its carvings of falling stars recording the comet that ended their age. The Piri Reis map shows Antarctica without ice, suggesting it was once mapped before the flood buried it in snow. The alignment of ancient monuments, pyramids, temples, megaliths, points to a unified knowledge of the heavens long before recorded history. It's as if an ancient network once spanned the earth, and the flood was the moment it was severed. After the flood, humanity started again, from scattered survivors. Knowledge became myth. Technology turned into magic. The gods of old became legends, and their cities sank into memory. But perhaps, in a way, the flood was not just destruction. It was transformation, a cycle that erases and renews. The question is not whether it happened, but whether it will happen again. Ancient prophecies, from the Sumerian tablets to the Mayan calendar, all speak of cycles of renewal and catastrophe. Modern scientists now know that cosmic impacts occur far more often than we once thought. The next flood may not come from rain, but from fire, an asteroid, a pole shift, or the melting ice of our own creation. Perhaps the ancients weren't warning us of their past, but of our future. Because if the Great Flood truly reset civilization once, it could happen again.